We now have can navigate to the particular profile. We have the ID. We'd like to be able to do is retrieve that user with that particular ID. So let's and remember, the only place where we have that access to any of that data is through the service, right? Just like we had a find user by credentials, we probably want also find a user by ID, right? So it'll be, let me copy it from here, right? And this is just going to be a filter, oops, right? That is just going to iterate over the, it's going to iterate over all these user IDs, and when it finds it, then it returns that particular user. Okay, so now from the controller on the ng init, I can use this user ID for something, right? I could bring up the actual user, the user object, right? Initialize the user object as an empty object, right? And what I could do is that not just update the user ID, I can actually use the service, right? That user service, and we can declare it here. We can say private. I need the user service, just like the login used the user service to check the credentials. I'm going to use it to retrieve that one user by the ID, right? So I'm going to say, grab the user ID, user service, right? And now in the subscribe, now that I have the user ID, I'm not just going to get the user ID. I'm going to go fetch the entire user. So I'm going to do something like, instead of this grabbing the user ID, I could say this.user is going to be this.user service dot find user. Oops, where's my find by? Oh, you find user by, there it is. I can use that user ID, pass it to the function, right, and then it'll retrieve that user and paste it in this user object. Make sense? Right? Okay. And then in the profile, I could maybe render the user, the entire object. Okay, so let's try that. Oops. Cannot be applied, blah, blah, blah. I think I had one too many equals here. User equal like that. Okay, let's try that. Let's see. Let's try 2, 3, 4. Did it not find any users? Can we say user.username maybe? No, let's see. Username of undefined. Angular is running, blah, blah, blah. What were the IDs? I forget. Was it 1, 2, 3 was one of the users? I guess it's not finding it. Let's step through this. Let's see. Let's source. And let's do the user service. And here's the user ID. And let's try it out. Let's render this. Okay, so it's going in there. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh, I see. These are not strings. These are integers compared to strings. Probably it's not going to work, right? So we could either, make these all strings, which is not crazy. Let's try it again. So now it's a string, and hopefully, let's go in there. So we have the user. User's 1, 2, 3. The user ID is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like it's going to return user. Okay, all right, there it is, Alice. Okay, so down below in the profile, we could say, welcome, and then user.username. Right, so this is say welcome Alice or welcome Bob, right, depending on who logged in. Make sense? All right. User service, you retrieve the user by ID, And okay. A couple more things here. The currently we have the user object right inside of the service, right? Ideally, instead, this would be outside into some JSON file, and that JSON file could be into like a mock file that you can load dynamically. Okay, but not going to get into that.